It is a nationwide day of mourning in Russia, commemorating the victims of a fire at a shopping centre in the Siberian city of Kemerovo. The blaze started on the top floor where there was a cinema and a children's play area. 64 people have been confirmed dead, including 41 children. The emergency services do say there are no more missing people. Well, funerals are now taking place, and with many of the victims coming from small villages, whole communities have been left grief-stricken.
She was my sister's godmother. Masha and Kostya are her grandchildren. How can you live through that? When you realize, passing by the children's beds, that they'll never return, that no one will play with their toys. I cannot comprehend how someone can just lock the doors to a cinema, just to stop people from sneaking in, and then just run off to save their own skin.
The grandmother went to the cinema. Her grandchildren were 10 and 8. They were buried in a closed coffin. It's horrible, so horrible.
A very good family, very good children, A graders. Of course, the parents are grief-stricken. It's so sad. This deep grief will stay with everyone forever.
Well, RT's Hugo Zdanov is in Kemerovo, where people continue to bring flowers and toys to the site of the tragedy.
3 days on since the tragedy, the town is still reeling from the shock. People keep coming to this makeshift vigil to commemorate those who perished in Sunday's inferno. Today is also when the relatives of the first 15 victims are paying their last respects, with burial ceremonies scheduled throughout the day. Now, this comes a day after thousands of people gathered in front of the city council to vent their fear, pain and anger. They stood for 11 hours demanding the authorities do not withhold any information from the public. They're saying everyone who is to blame for the fire should be brought to justice, and local authorities in turn promised to keep the investigation as transparent as possible. And Vladimir Putin, who visited the town yesterday, also made a vow that no one will escape the punishment. So far, 5 people have been arrested in connection with the tragedy, including the fire safety chief and one of the security guards. Now, there's more protests scheduled today, so we'll be standing by for that and bringing you all the latest.
Well, the tragedy has shaken not only the Siberian city, but the whole country. People have been bringing flowers and toys to improvised memorials across Russia. And vigils had taken place too in many towns and cities before the National Day of Mourning was officially declared. Well, one of the many tragic stories is that of a group of 11-year-old girls from a village near Kemerovo. They travelled to the city with their teacher to celebrate the beginning of the spring holidays by watching a movie. When the fire broke out, they all found themselves locked inside the cinema. This reportedly was company policy to prevent people from sneaking into the auditorium. Trapped inside, the girls tried to call their families and posted messages on social media. None of them survived. RT's Roman Kostorev visited their village and spoke to locals shocked by what's happened.
We are in the village of Treshevsky, about 40-45 kilometers outside of Kemerovo. This village right here is reportedly home to at least 6 of the victims. We are now in a school which they attended. The school only houses about 80 students, so huge loss for them. And despite the fact that their bodies are yet to be identified, local residents have already begun to bring flowers flowers and candles and teddy bears to this makeshift memorial. One class in this school had lost more than half of its students. We spoke to an employee.
They were such good girls, quiet, calm, joyful. They studied really well. It is such a tragedy for everyone. I still can't believe it happened. In every home, it's all everyone can talk about. Nobody can sleep or eat.
Emotions are running high, with people seeking immediate answers. Even those whose loved ones survived are struggling to process what happened.
My neighbor's son was pulled from the fire by a friend, but he couldn't save his daughter. The whole village will support the parents in this situation. We are not mourning just for our village. A lot of people died. Everyone will try to help as best they can.
There are almost no children of this age left in our village. They made up an entire year group. There aren't many children here. Only our granddaughter Zina is alive. She didn't go. And also 3 boys. But no one else, their age, is left in the village.
The tragedy in Siberia has had an effect on the entire country and beyond. The grief here is palpable. Of just 600 residents, this village has lost 6 children.